cells have formed before. Two semis going in opposite directions down the highway. They cause this little spin, and next thing you know,
it just keeps going.
How about that?
It just keeps going, just starts sustaining itself.
That's awesome.
That guy's full of info.
He's full of crazy knowledge, right? Hey, thanks for staying with us. Hour 2 here of Weather Underground. I'm Mike Bettis.
And I'm Alex Wilson. Find out which video is going to take the top spot in tonight's six-pack. We'll talk about that later in the show, but we want to start with that
chase to watch. Terrifying for those storm chasers. Steve Heater and his family, they witnessed that tornado tear apart a house and 3 other buildings in Sydney, Illinois on Friday. Steve joining us now from nearby Champaign, Illinois. Steve, thanks so much for being with us. We could tell, you know, as we watched that video, we heard, you know, that terror in your voice, your family's voice. What was that moment like when you saw that tornado hit?
This to any other chases you've ever been on. Have you ever seen something like this while you're out?
But maybe this really drives home the point how important storm spotters are. Radar wouldn't necessarily, you know, it's a farmland area there. Primarily you're just seeing hardly anything this evening. Although, Dr. Froese, when it did hit that house, it did show up on the radar.
Yeah, there was a debris signal.
Thank goodness.
Well, coming up, voting over for today's best video. Is it underground time now for rapid weather? We put 30 seconds on the clock and we bring you the stories. We've got a few severe warnings out there. One for Arizona, another one here into parts of Georgia. Of course, we're watching that flash flood warning around Orangeburg, South Carolina. Here's this storm drifting off towards the north and west around the Rome, Georgia area. So Floyd County under that warning until 8 o'clock. This is not the only area we're watching, though, for severe storms. Nope, got to head up into parts of the Midwest and the Plains. We're talking Oklahoma and Texas, the Panhandles, through parts of Kansas, Nebraska, and Iowa. Spotty hail, spotty damaging winds, and perhaps an isolated tornado.
All right, story number, a fish storm.
That is the kind of forecast track that we like to see, is it not? Absolutely. Hey, we also like to hear about cool downs headed our way, right? Let's take a peek at the early week across the Midwest and the Northeast. Yeah, we've got the warmth, but there's that line. You want to see that cold front as that moves east. The end of the week, the cooler air spills in, and it maybe starts to feel a little bit more like fall for parts of you in the Northeast and New England. Tomorrow, mid-80s for Pittsburgh and Syracuse, 88 in Washington, D.C. Now Wednesday, notice 70s for Syracuse, Burlington, and Detroit. Still 80 in Pittsburgh, still mid-90s in D.C. But by Thursday, we're feeling the chill, upper 60s in Burlington and Syracuse. Still on the warm side, but not quite as hot for D.C. and New York City. Below average Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We're going to take this into overtime because this is such good news.
So many of us have struggled this summer.
Yeah.
Just blazing hot. So you're finally now starting to feel like fall in a few places, right? Mm-hmm. You need this, right? Let's take a place like Minneapolis, for instance. Average highs 73 degrees. Tomorrow, just 65.
I like it.
Hello, cold front. We'll do
like
67 on Wednesday. Overnight low should be comfortable. Well, actually, I think tomorrow morning we're going to be in the 40s. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's the retail business. You know, they bring out the fall clothes. There's now you go into a store and it's Halloween everything. I need the weather to follow suit. If I'm going to eat the candy corn, I need it to be candy corn weather. And you get yourself a bowl of candy corn. 53 degrees is your low in Bismarck.
Pumpkin spice latte, hot cider.
That's the breakfast of champions in the fall. You pour a pumpkin spice latte over candy corn. Eat it like
is that what it is? What kind of breakfast is that?
No, it's not. Sorry, kids. Kids at home, that's not breakfast, no matter what I said.
It's not breakfast.
Don't do it.
Minneapolis, they were alluding to your 40-degree temperature tomorrow morning. 47 degrees will be the number. Now, later in the week and next weekend, we're going to go up above average. We'll be 76 by Monday. But that's the highest temperature for the week. If that's as high as we go,
I'll take it.
Totally doable,
I think
right?
they'll take it too. Yeah, and winter alerts in effect. Look at this. We've got winter weather advisories. We've seen snow in parts of Wyoming. Mm-hmm. Feeling the chill. Look down at the bottom of the screen. That's Yellowstone. And yeah, those are some flakes falling
Big
earlier.
Ones too. Temperatures have been just cold enough to support some snow, right? 5 to 8 inches in the Bighorns. Mm-hmm. We've had some breezy conditions at times as well. So hello fall, right? Look at the areas that we're going to, it's high elevation. These are the areas that will end up getting some snow. 5 to 8 is the max. Just outside of Jackson Hole, we'll have some. Yellowstone, obviously, we've had the issues there, but got to go up. Generally, you got to go above 5,000 feet, if not higher, to get the good snow.
If you're in Jackson, you might see, rain snow mix too. Mm-hmm. So if you're looking for that winter feel, you're just going to skip right past fall. You're like, bring me the snowflakes.
What happened to fall, right? Yeah. We did a poll question, Ryan.
Yep.
To ask people what signals to them fall is here. I'm not sure. Snow wasn't one of our choices.
What lights your fall
Are
fire?
you hiding back there?
I'm trying.
Are you hiding back there?
Yeah. No, we did ask that. And actually, we're going to run some of your comments along the bottom of the screen of what you think signals fall to you. And we're going to talk more about the fall outlook. And then we'll reveal your results coming up.
All right, so Shelly loves the spectacular fall colors. She says that's...
I think a lot of people fall, it's the fall colors.
Yep, leaves changing,
Maybe
says
not so
Chris.
much meteorological as it is what it looks like out there. Here's the seasonal outlook, by the way, and this is for temperatures. And the overall trend here is pretty interesting. Most of the country, like we have been all summer, is above average or well above average.
Yeah.
When you look at the orange on the map, you really only go to the northern tier states of the Northwest to find a forecast that's for below average temperatures.
So you might not get that cold blast to make it feel like fall. You might have to rely on the Halloween candy on the shelves
Right.
to make it feel like fall.
For a lot of you that still have to do the heat, you're going to be drier than average as well. So drought may persist through the fall in a lot of places.
Especially looking at Georgia, Alabama, South Carolina, those areas that love to see it, looking pretty likely that it stays
What's that going to do to the fall colors
That's
in the
true.
Northeast with the drought that we've had up there too?
Curious. I'm curious about wine as well. Finger Lakes wine.
Yeah.
'Tis the season in October. They start to harvest that, and what's going to happen?
Well, still to come here on Weather Underground. Twisters. I'm live on the show this evening. Ryan is behind the bar going through all the questions tonight.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff, a lot of everybody's comments about fall. You're going to see them running across the bottom of the screen, and we're going to talk about some of the questions we have. First one is from Sean Michael Collins. We talked about this earlier. What are the pressure ranges for low troughs and high ridges? Dr. Forbes, you had a good answer.
Yeah, well, it's not so much the pressure value as it is the pattern. A pressure trough is an elongated area of lower pressure than what surrounds it. Now, that said, typically it would be a trough of low pressure if it was like 1,010 millibars or less. A ridge of high pressure, usually that would be, say, 1,010 millibars or higher.
All right, thank you very much.
There
Good
you
question.
go. The next one comes from K2PBL. If hurricanes are spawned from the African deserts, where are typhoons and cyclones born? Good question.
Good question. Well, out in the Pacific, they just form over the ocean.
Yeah.
You basically have to find some sort of convergence zone where that happens, and you get one that sets up central, western Pacific, and then the typhoons roll into Philippines, Taiwan, China. So you're basically looking for some sort of trough that's developed, some sort of monsoon trough that's developed, and you can get these, through that basically circumnavigate the globe.
It's not just off.
Different formation ingredients, same principle.
You got it.
The next one comes from Garrett. Garrett asks, is there going to be a tornado threat from Invest 93L?
Shouldn't be a high. 93L
I don't think
is
so.
not much of an entity.
Right. I
It's gonna be more of a rain thing.
Yeah, I think if anything, you're just going to see some heavy downpours from that
it's more
tropical
of a rain,
moisture because
yeah.
it's not even so much that the entity itself as much as just the moisture is going to work along that front.
Maybe a few water spots.
Yeah, hey, there you go. If you catch one, send it to us. Maybe it'll be a top 5 or a video 6
Have you ever
pack
seen a
video.
water spout, Dr. Forbes?
I have, yeah. Several.
Lucky.
You stink.
Thanks, Mike.
None of us have ever seen a water. We're jealous. I'm saying that because I'm jealous.
We need to
You
see a water
None of us
spout
have ever seen a water spout
while drinking a
before.
pumpkin spice latte.
There you go.
That would be
That would be
the
epic.
thing. This next question comes from Jody. Jody wants to know, what's the difference between a cold air funnel and an actual tornado?
Well, a cold air funnel, of course, is one by virtue of being called a funnel is that the circulation hasn't reached the ground. So that by that reasoning, it's not a tornado. Now, most tornadoes are sort of a warm air rising type of phenomenon. A cold air funnel or cold air tornadoes are sort of driven, the instability is driven by the cold air aloft and often some kind of mid-level rotation. So sometimes it's cold enough that in those cases, the rotation doesn't work its way to the ground.
We can get those in the fall.
Yeah.
For sure.
We've been talking about that. You've been talking about fall.
Of fall, though. We've been talking about
Right.
this cold push that's coming. What signals fall, Ryan? We asked people this online.
Yes, we did. And we still have a little more time if you want to vote, but we're going to tell you how it's going so far.
Oh.
Pretty
Leaves,
unanimously,
really?
people think that the leaves are what...
Yeah, I
Pumpkin
think
spice latte is the second place, though. So
I think our coffee shops have influenced our decision making.
Yeah.
yes,
Have
they
they
have. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, it just goes back to the stores when they bring in the Halloween candy, when you start to, mine is always, when is the first day that it's okay to eat chili and you're not sweating? Like, you're going to make yourself, this is a day where you wake up and you go, you know what?
That's actually good.
I want a pot of chili today.
Not this
That's when
week
it's
in the
fall.
South.
Nope. No, it's going to be a while.
Probably after Halloween, I would
think
say,
so.
for chili. Thank you, everyone.